Today, my advocacy is going to be on the Nigerian military. The Nigerian military has forgotten that its allegiance is supposed to be to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and not to whoever it is that occupies the office of the president. The duty of the Nigerian military is to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria and not to tell citizens how they can protest or not protest. The military should focus on the terrorists, bandits, and kidnappers that are threatening the lives and properties of this nation. Over the years, we have had the Nigerian military degrade itself to the level where they can be called upon by a governor to kill peaceful protesters who were merely demanding to be protected from the brutality of the Nigerian police, as we saw happen on the 20th of October, 2020. I will stop here and take a quote from the speech of Army General Mark A. Milley, when he was transferring responsibility as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to Air Force General C.Q. Brown Jr. And he said, "The Constitution gives purpose to service. It is that document that all of us in uniform swear to protect and defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That has been true across generations, and we in uniform are willing to die to pass that document on to the next generation. The Constitution makes the American military unique. We don't take an oath to a country. We don't take an oath to a tribe. We don't take an oath to a religion. We don't take an oath to a king, a queen, or a tyrant, or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator. We don't take an oath to an individual. We take an oath to the Constitution, and we take an oath to the ideal that is America, the idea that is America, and we're willing to die to protect it." When will the Nigerian military get to the point where their oath is only to the Constitution and not to a dictator, a tyrant, or an illegitimate president?
Well, what you just watched there is it's my advocacy of was it last week now? Yeah, on Sunday. That was when they showed that advocacy. And so I'm a co-host on a program called A Place at the Table on News Central TV. So usually twice a month I do an advocacy. I talk on an issue that I want to talk about. And last week's own, I did talk about the Nigerian military. And like I said, like you did here in my advocacy, the Nigerian military have forgotten that their allegiance is to Nigeria and the Constitution. Nigeria and Nigerians and the Constitution, and not whoever is president and the ruling party, whether legitimate or illegitimate, president. And until we get to a place where there are certain institutions that nobody should dare to sort of like tamper with them, we're not going to have a country. A situation whereby even a governor can command the military, can ask them to come and shoot protesters, like I did say in that advocacy, and they come. It's something that should worry even the military itself, to say how far they have degraded themselves, and see what military in other parts of the world are actually doing. We've seen places where military have stood in support of protesters because they know they're protesting for the right thing for the country, not the one that at the end of the day you're always on the part of tyrants and want to be tyrants, and dictators and want to be dictators, and all of that. And so I did this advocacy, and I did see, when I posted it on my Twitter handle, now called X, a lot of people came out and they were talking about, oh, Aisha is supporting the military, this is treasonable, she's actually, no, she's asking the military to come and do a coup, to come and do this. Hey, I just laughed. You know, there's this passionate ignorance that some Nigerians deliberately put forward, especially when they are trying to defend someone that they support. And they can bring in anything. They can decide to read anything to whatever that they want to do. Let them be reading. There were some, let me even check some of it. There were some responses. There was even a particular guy. The way he wrote, I wanted to respond to him. Then I now saw the responses that even others had done to him. Now I just felt, there was no need anymore now. People had already spoken, people had already spoken to him in a manner that if he was someone who was interested in learning, that would have been a very important way, with opportunity. That would be a teachable moment for him. So let's see, for example, that particular thing that you watch, when I put it, this guy called Aremo Odua, he said, his Twitter handle is Aremo Tunde. He said, "You are talking absolutely nonsense." That's what he said. "And I think you should go back to school to learn how to use quotations to support your argument. Every system of government has three fundamental principles branches in it: legislature, executive, and judiciary. The legislature produces the constitution, then passes it to the executive power to execute, while the judiciary is for check and balances. For the executive, that is president, to execute the constitution produced by legislators, he needs the armed forces, including the police. The reason they named him commander-in-chief. The police have to obey what he says. If he says go and buy you, honestly, they have to obey. So what nonsense are you saying that police should respect the protesters and not the president?" Hey. See you. Naira ma, no be small pikin o. Na somebody wey suppose, except this one no be a picture, somebody wey suppose be elderly. Hey. Aisha is over and suffered. Anyway, a lot of people took time to answer him. This is not even the only one. There are others. If you see what there were some. Then there was one that was like, "Oh, she's calling for coup, she's calling for this, she's calling for that," and all sorts of things. And there was no, in short, the thing is that if I just see these things now, I just laugh. After all, the hunger, they affect everybody. The suffering, they affect everybody. Everybody, they hear them for body. It's not only one set of people that are doing it. The other ones are this one, it's there for everybody. But people, they hear. All of us, we are all victims waiting to happen. When I was saying it, they say this woman decrease. She all of us don't decrease now. No wahala.